Stunning performance by our poet praise singer Jessica Mbangeni. Now she'll be joining me in studio to talk about her latest album titled I Am an African. But for now, it's that time of the weekend where we give you all things lifestyle, arts, food, and live performances. This is Trendz Live. We do it every single Friday, and I'm your host, Thebe Magugu. Now we have a jam-packed show for you, and would like to hear from you on our social media platforms with the handle Trendz on SABC. Mokhaitsu, ke a go dumedisa. The theatre is a wonderful platform to express important topics. Even more thrilling books and stories unearthed come alive on stage. It is no wonder this Freedom Month, Dr. John Kani's acclaimed stage play titled Kunene and the Kings promises to provoke the thoughts of a vast audience. Let's take a look.
April is Freedom Month, and Trendz could not miss the opportunity to witness a play which speaks to freedom and our country's political climate at the State Theatre in Pretoria.
From the nursing agency.
Encapsulating a nation's history on stage, this revelation is effortlessly displayed by revered theatre legends Dr. John Kani and Michael Richard. Marking 25 years since the country's first post-apartheid democratic elections, the stage plays a confrontation between two men who represent polarized aspects of the South African experience.
I wrote this play, Kunene and the King, to celebrate our democracy, to celebrate 25 years from the perspective of both black and white. What are you celebrating as a black person? That's what Kunene and the King is about. It's about the relationships. It's about working together. It's about seeing each other. It's about building a strong friendship, but when you began so far apart.
Now, Jack Morris is a very old-fashioned in his political views, and suddenly he sees a black man walking into his house, and he freaks and tries to get this man out until John's character explains to him that no, he's the carer, and that his name is Sister Kunene, not Sister Kun, and that he's come to look after him. Jack Morris goes on a journey that he never thought he would go on, a journey of discovery for himself, about his prejudices, about how he sits in to the world in South Africa, and it's a learning experience.
This time, Dr. John Kani explores thought-provoking topics. Racial integration, prejudices, and politics are just a few. These themes that integrally resonate with South Africans.
It's Freedom Month. When you look at where our country is at today, are we winning?
I'd rather be at home and deal with the problems than be just destroyed by bombs blowing all over the place because people differ in their opinions of what they think should be right or who should govern or who should not govern. This is the most stable government in Africa. We have had no coup or no dysfunctional state.
What do you hope is the message that South Africans will gain from the narrative of your stage play?
The audiences have been brilliant. What they take home is friendship, is understanding, is the meaning of freedom. Freedom is expression. Freedom is the right to think, just the right to be.
It's an evening of pure theatre, in that it is instructive, it is incredibly funny in places, it's very moving, and it's very real, and it's dealing with a topic that is so relevant to today's South Africa.
Directed by Janice Honeyman, featuring Lungelwa Plakis, sewing the scenes together musically, Kunene and the King has also been described as rich, raw, and shattering. And it's already impressed those who've seen it.
It's a little bit of history, it's a little bit of culture, it's a lot of South Africa, and it just is, it's funny, it's moving, it's sad, and they just bounce you along and keep you laughing, smiling, and crying all at the same time.
Having John Kani to tell our story, what better way to tell our story than our people? So I was reminded of our history, where we come from. Yes, things are better now, we can do better, judging from what we went through as a black nation.
What took me is the level of commitment to the arts. You see how these guys are old, they're pretty mature. Dr. John Kani, for years, has been doing this, but he still oozes the same passion today, and you can see also with a partner, but also the element of the music. I think that was the unique selling point for me, how Mama was playing these native instruments and the authenticity of the voice. That's a winner for me. I'm definitely coming back. I love this.
Now, she made her mark as a praise singer when she joined multi-Grammy award-winning Soweto Gospel Choir in 2002 and toured Germany, Australia, New Zealand, Scotland, and the 37 cities in the United States of America. She has performed at the prestigious events such as the 4664 concert in Cape Town and the South African President Thabo Mbeki's second inauguration. Now, around this time last year, she had a gig in New York and at the South African Embassy in the Washington, D.C. for a celebration of Freedom Day in 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the one and only divine infinity energy of her universe, Jessica Mbangeni. Welcome to the studio.
Greetings, son of the soil. Greetings in the name of Africa, my beginning. Africa,
so
my ending.
Beautiful. Son of the soil. Beautiful. I just want to ask you, you having that pride of being an African and introducing by saying son of the soil, what does it mean so much for you to be an African?
I am not an African because I was born in Africa, but I'm an African because Africa was born in me. As you were just telling me about the meaning of your name, Tiseto,
yes.
Perseverance, yes. Resilience, the wars that we fought for us to be able to keep our identity and to keep our culture, traditions, yes. our heritage, and hold on into this beautiful African continent, which is the giver of birth to the whole world. Remember, we have been one world, which was called Gondwana land. And this part of the continent is the one that has given birth to all the nations of the world. Look at the cradle of humankind. Look at Mapungubwe. All the nations know that they are coming from here. And traveling the world in 7 seas made me to know that actually in Africa we're looking for illusion if we want to be something that is out in the world, because the world focuses in Africa. As you have heard the phrase that says the world focuses in Africa, because this is their home. You look at the Hollywood stars, they are coming back home. This is not a joke. There is a what you call, there's a hunger and that people are yearning to reconnect with their roots and to be born in this beautiful continent. It's such a privilege for me. It is my wealth.
So just in your voice as you're speaking, you show some pride in being African, but then the poetry drools within your speech. Just tell me, the love of poetry and dance, when did it start?
It didn't even start.
Yes.
I was born a poet.
Yeah.
Because ndiyimbongi yomthonyama. So my muse are the original and authentic Xhosa inspired muse.
Yeah.
They would say I'm a griot. I do not want to say a praise poet, because as Imbongi we do not praise always. We are the prophetic voice that conveys divine messages from God, from our ancestors, and also the vision of the people. We are able to articulate it. So it's a gift that I am born with, and it's actually today it becomes even relevant into the corporate world, where I speak to financial institutions like African Bank, your what you call Development Bank of Southern Africa, because times times are changing and times are evolving. I'm talking about the economic development, where I'm addressing the issues of the decommodification of our own commodities, starting from our culture and traditions, building museums, what you call galleries, so that the people of the world can come and look at our different artisans.
So then with your attire, it's so majestic, it's beautiful, it shows beauty in many aspects. Just talk a bit about the attire and walk us through the whole design and the idea.
This is the fusion of the South African traditional outfits, which is Xhosa, umbhaco, isindebele, bathi inyoka yamandebele, ufele lwengwe, which symbolizes the ownership of our indigenous knowledge systems, the alignment of our spirituality to our royalty. And this is called Isthova, ngesiXhosa. Then because I'm the queen of the universe, I carry the energy of the birds, which is our beautiful peacock that we are known of across the world. South Africa is one of the countries that have got wonders of the world. And we are the wonder of the world, hence I'm wearing all this regalia today.
And
and I've made it in my shop, Quanto Afrocentric Designs. And the reason why we decided to elaborate and make these massive, it's all because we cannot be waiting for the Hollywood to put a dust on our culture. We need to elevate it and take it on a global scale, so that when our Beyoncés and them or Tamia come to South Africa, we dress them up and we ride on the global wave without preserving our intellectual property, because there would be time whereby Jessica would have to request from Hollywood. So we're avoiding that. That is the decommodification of our commodities, which is the arts and culture and our heritage.
And I choose to say that I'm crowning you as the brand ambassador for Africa. May you continue shining, may you continue showing pride of Africa. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to welcome the glorious, the majesty, Dr. Jessica Mbangeni. Kamaku.
Around our African crown. The victories that we earned from Isandwana to Khartoum, as Ethiopians, as Ashanti of Ghana, beacon of hope. The dramatic shapes of the mighty dragon's back, the soil-colored waters of the Lukwa, and the sounds of the Khalakati have all been the partners of the set on the natural stage of which we act out the foolish deeds of the theater of the day. At times and in fear, I'm going to if I should concede the equal citizenship of our country to the lion and the leopard, the elephant and the springbok, the black mamba, the hyena, and the pestilential mosquito. Remember, we are the ones who've been waiting for. We are the ones that made it possible for the world to trade in gold, in diamonds, and the food that was Damascus. Remember, we are the great-grandchildren of Nungause, the great-grandchildren of the world.
Welcome back, and you're still tuned in to Trendz Live. Now, with his distinctive sense of style and extraordinary creativity, this visionary fashion designer has taken the world by storm. From the streets of Johannesburg to the runways of New York, guests who attended fashion designer Thebe Magugu's sonic experience at the Nirok Sculpture Park west of Johannesburg were treated to a sonic experience, a collaboration of fashion, music and dance. Now prepare to be wowed by his amazing plans and dazzling connections inspired by folkloric stories. Let's take a look.
Good evening, Trenders. Today we were summoned by the globally renowned fashion designer and creative director Thebe Magugu for his Fashion Forward, a sonic experience playlist that was happening at the Nirok Sculpture Park in the west of Johannesburg. An all-black event inspired by folklore and brought to life by the globally recognized fashion designer Thebe Magugu. The sound and rhythm of Asian traditions woven together in the modern tapestry of style and elegance.
I'm here because I'm a friend of Thebe's, and he's a really inspiring African designer who's doing it for us globally. He's recognized by Vogue, he's an LVMH winner, and so I'm here to support my friend and really enjoy the experience overall.
I'm here to also, see the combination of the inspiration of music meeting fashion. On the creative journey, there are things that help us to achieve our goals or to, get to the next point of each step towards the goal. Music is an integral part of that. As a creative myself and as a creative, I know speaking on behalf of creatives like Thebe and the many creatives that surround us within the space, music is that thing that ultimately keeps many going. It's the meeting pot of these two zeitgeists that, support one another.
Thebe is a storyteller of note. Thebe comes from roots that were somehow deeply now underground with mining in Kimberley. And those roots need to be shined and be stones that the world should recognize. And he's taken that measure of telling his own narrative. Thebe is telling a story not infused with music, but that is part of musicality.
This evening was really a combination of fashion and music. When I was designing my Autumn Winter 23 collection, it was about folklore stories, the stories we listened to our parents growing up, and I wanted this evening to celebrate the collection, but also spotlight musicians, I feel, who are sort of doing that in their own right. Musicians like Zoe and A Brother Moves On and Ukoikoi, who infuse their music with such a modernity. So it's this sort of combination of, African storytelling, but with like a very forward-looking modernity. And I think when those two things come together, it forms such a beautiful combination. I think there's always been a long-standing connection between fashion and music. I don't think this is anything new, I think because both genres are about this idea of expressing your truest self, you know what I mean? And I love the playlist that I created for Spotify so much because all the artists on that, across the genres, whether it's in jazz, amapiano, drum, all share this sort of thing that they infuse their work with where they're from. And I think that's why it sounds so modern. It's this idea that like they tell stories from their past and their heritage and their upbringing, but infuse it with such a forward-looking modernity that I think that's why the world can't really get enough of us right now, because it just feels so new.
Brenda Fassie and Lebu Mathosa, two well-known style icons, are on his playlist.
They were icons on their own. I think Brenda Fassie, Lebu Mathosa, all these people were on so many mood boards for so many creatives, and I think it's a testament to how fashion forward they were. The fact that today we can still say and reference Brenda Fassie and Lebu Mathosa as these sort of icons who sort of guided fashion in so many ways today in 2023, I think speaks to their vision.
Wow, this moment, Thebe, you cannot even predict him, the creativity, it's just unbelievable. As we were driving, I was like, where are you taking us? So yeah, this is Thebe, he is unpredictable, it's beautiful, it's crazy what's happening in his mind, but yeah, this is beautiful, awesome.
Now, it is that time of the year where, unfortunately, we are hitting your -degrees Celsius. As the temperatures drop and winter is approaching, it is that time to switch up your fragrance game. Now, I, for one, am not a winter person. Now, show producer Asanda Zondi said to us, I got you, who visited a perfume store in Parkhurst to find out how one should pick a suitable body and home scent for the new season. Let's have a look.
As winter slowly creeps in, everybody will be looking for some coziness and comforts. But it starts with what you wear, from your outfits to your fragrance to how your house smells. So let's talk about choosing the best scents for winter. Should it be cold? Should it be warm? Should it be cozy? We're gonna help you with that.
If we think about how we change our clothes depending on the season, it makes sense that we would change our perfume. Something that's quite interesting to note is that perfume is very magical. Your scent, obviously when you're around people, leaves a first impression. So let's say, for example, we're talking about winter now and we want to look at maybe being a bit more seductive. Maybe we're wearing winter clothes, we've got lots of high neck jerseys on. Then your fragrance would need to be maybe a bit more intense as opposed to your light floral scents which you would wear in the summer months.
So how will I know that this perfume is intense or it's strong?
Just by your scent. Obviously we're going to smell a few and I can take you through what we've considered to be more of your warmer, woodier notes, as opposed to something that's maybe more along the lines of rose and lavender, which is a little bit more softer.
Oh, okay. People believe that your perfume, we should smell you before we actually see you. Is that supposed to be the case?
We often can't smell our own perfume. And some people tend to blame the perfume. They'll say, oh, I can't wear this as I can't smell it. This is a physiological science that your brain cannot remember a scent forever. So if you're constantly wearing the same perfume, you of course are going to stop smelling it as your brain says to you, this is a harmless scent, so I don't need to smell it anymore. So then we tend to put on more. Always good to get our friends to tell us if they can smell our scent before we layer. So with your scent, what is important to note is that you're going to put it on and you're going to apply it to your pulse points. So that's would be your neck, your inside of your wrists, inside of your elbows, perhaps behind your knees. And then you're going to get yourself dressed. So that allows your perfume to settle on your body. And then of course you don't need to reapply again if you're wearing an eau de parfum or a parfum. So that would be your most concentrated.
The perfume and the type of outfits, or how do you match the two?
I don't think you need to match it, but I think you need to match it to your mood. So let's say, you're in sort of that wintry, it's cold outside. You want something that's going to be, warm and sensual, as opposed to perhaps, when it's hot and breezy outside, you're going to put on something light and floral. So that's really only going to be your determining factor. I always say that perfume is your first layer of dressing because that is your invisible armor.
So now let's talk about diffuser blends and essential oils. Most people spend their time indoors. They become homeboarders during winter. So I think it's very important to talk about the type of the smell or the aura of your home when it's winter? How do I get it right?
Okay. So obviously we are indoors a lot more, and perhaps our scent in our home is even more intense because maybe we are even cooking in our homes. So it is important to have a fragrance in your home that announces who you are. So when your visitors arrive, the first thing they smell is this beautiful fragrance, and then maybe it's even layered. So you'd have like a diffuser, which would obviously emit fragrance all the time, or then you could also light a candle that's perhaps also fragrance in a different part of your home, which is also going to continually emit a fragrance. If it's wintry, then we would do things that are a lot more wooded, a lot deeper in their scent, as opposed to something that's maybe more like a verbena, which is fresh and lemony.
When I pick a diffuser or an essential oil or a candle, how should the one that I pick from my bedroom smell as compared to the one that I pick from my lounge or my kitchen or an open setting?
So I think an open setting, you can definitely go for something that's a lot stronger, a lot more intense. Definitely in your bedroom, I would keep it very soft. Obviously, you don't want it to affect the way you're sleeping. And then generally scents that have got a bit of lavender in them, very good, especially for the bedroom. You know, lavender tends to calm you, helps you sleep and rest well. So it's just to give you an idea from that perspective, and then perhaps in your lounge, you could go for something that's more oody. So something that's got like, we've got a black fig with a blonde tobacco. You know, that sounds wintry, even on its own. And of course, it's going to give you that more vanilla-y, deep, sort of toffee smell in your home.
That's it, Trendz. I hope this narrows down your choices as you look for a winter scent to make you feel warm, brighten your mood, and turn your home into a cozy haven for this new season.
Now, in hip-hop, a verse takes 16 bars to complete. Rapper Kwesta has reached a significant milestone in his career and is celebrating 16 years in the music industry. He has become one of the most well-known and influential rapper that South Africa has seen thanks to his infectious choice of beats, clever lyrics, and ability to tell stories of struggle and triumph. Now, he's no stranger to delivering the best quotable verses, and now he is here going to tell us a bit about his journey in creating verses that will forever be the soundtrack of our life. Kwesta, welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Sure.
Now, I want to start here.
Yeah.
There is gospel, there is house music, there is jazz, but you chose hip-hop.
Yeah,
why that?
I did. And it's so strange because I grew up on that. I will every Sunday, gospel music, Maltlina, and everything like that. And Mina, I was into Kwaito music. Right? That was my thing to go to. You know, I think hip-hop then started Mangkala in high school. You know, I met a friend, Moses Tladi, you know, who introduced me to the likes of Squatter Camp, Eminem, and H2O and things like that. And as the more I got into it, then the more, you know, and I think that's why manje, my style is kind of infused with that Kwaito Bengilalela then and the bit of the hip-hop vele that I fell in love with.
Now, we are talking 16 years. 16 years of making music. Would you say that your style has evolved? Has there been any changes, adjustment, or have you kept to that Kwesta who started from day one?
No, I think I've evolved, maybe even more than once. You know, I think in the beginning, the whole point was to, yo, let me show them I'm dope. You know, I'm the best rapper there is, or I'm better than so-and-so. So we start off with the battles that we used to do. You know, they used to be the friendly battles, but, you know, would kind of disrespect each other's hustles or each other's ability to rap. And then I think as time went on, then I decided to speak about sort of myself and represent a people, you know. Then when I started being comfortable with the fact that I'm an artist and a recorder, then I started falling into myself, and then it kind of changed. I changed the language in which I was rapping in. I changed the people I was rapping to, because I realized it doesn't and then that's when the style evolved to what now is with this new album, Gakabza, no, the Yam no Kabza. You know, which is purely Kwaito, you know. So I've tried to sort of include everything that's influenced me, from Eminem to Squatter Camp all the way to Makesh. You know.
Now, you've worked with great names in South Africa, and I'm going to ask you the most awkward question here. Do you have any project you would say that you are proud of?
Project, yes. I mean, when we did Itaka 2, you know, because I think I'm 5 albums in now, and Itaka 2 was my 3rd album. I think that was when I was comfortable with just being Kwesta. You know, I wasn't doing it so that someone says something. You know, I was just being myself in the music, and I was just telling them things that, as in, to the people, you know, instead of thinking that, yo, Kwesta is on this pedestal. You know, they started seeing me as a peer and so I'm pretty proud of Itaka. cut to. And also the music was exceptional.
Yeah. So we've heard from many people, big names and small names, telling us that the music industry is not an easy playground for one to enter. What challenges have you encountered throughout your career that also you would give to a young coming up Kwesta who would want to also join the music industry?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I want to say this. No industry is easy in general. You know, I think it would be disrespectful to other industries to act like they're easy and music is specifically harder. It's just that music maybe does not have a formality of sorts, you know. A lot of artists, maybe after a long career, complain with you know, because our structural ways are a little bit off, you know. But I think in my head, what I'd say to a Kwesta coming up is that, first of all, don't try to be a Kwesta. I think God makes us unique. You know, I think no person is like the other. So find that thing that makes you unique musically, and then follow that. And also just make sure you love what you're doing. You know, I love music. It's all I've ever done. Never had a job, you know. This has always been my job. So, and you can only do that for 16 years when you love it, you know. I love it. And I also practice, make sure I was good.
Now, earlier on, you mentioned collaboration with Kabza the Small, and then you've been nominated at the Metro Awards for Best Duo. Congratulations on that one.
Thank you very much.
Now, I just want us to talk a bit about the project. How has it been, the journey, the creation, the creativity?
I mean, it's been wonderful, you know. I mean, Kabza is a king, generally in music, you know. I don't want to box him in and say the king of Amapiano, how he calls himself, but he's just a king. He understands music to a certain level. And as soon as, when lockdown finished, when lockdown started, that's when we also kind of started working, you know. And it was really just at first a hangout because you can't go anywhere, so we're just chilling, and the music sort of started making itself, you know. As long as he played, track one, mela sound, track two, we were really just hanging out, and we both figured we love Kwaito. We come from the same sort of backgrounds, you know, so we clicked like that. And once we clicked musically, and then this project came out, you know. So it's not a very strategic what. We just wanted to make some good Kwaito because we both enjoy it.
Now, due to time, I just want us to give that young, hopeful Ekaya who's wishing one day to see themselves on big stages like Kwesta. What do you say to that kid in that bedroom, recording songs, writing rap songs? What is your best advice, just shortly?
I mean, just keep at it. Don't stop, no matter what they tell you. And also another thing, I've been here 16 years, and we're celebrating it at Carnival City on the 12th of August. So that kid must make sure they're there, you know, to kind of see what it takes to be there for 16 years. So yes, 12th of August, it's called the 16th Bar. We're doing it at Carnival City, and we're doing a big thing. And I hope that kid that I'm talking to now comes to the event.
Definitely. As they always say on the social streets, oh, Sabawell, the soft life. Now, going on a spa day is no longer a want, but a necessity. With everything happening around us and in our lives, we need a break for healing every now and then. And to do this, you don't need to travel too far. Now, Trendz Love producer Asanda Zondi is going to show you another reason to improve your health and unwind.
Not only are spa dates great for relaxing, but also healing. Leading a stressful life, not taking time out and look after your body, soul and mind can pose endless health risks. Snuggled on the banks of the Crocodile River, Woodland Spa has a way to transport you into a state of deep relaxation and wellness by focusing on blending the traditional spa experience with an energy healing journey.
We offer healing retreats. We offer conscious retreats, we offer full day packages, individual treatments, and so with that, you will find something that can heal, let go, and relax.
So water is very healing. I mean, I definitely see the difference between a client that is having a hydrotherapy session to a client that's not. And with the water flow, it's singing to us, you know, you can hear it. Did we plan it? No, we did not plan it like that exactly, but it is quite magical in its own.
Indeed, the water sounds magical, especially when you are getting a treatment that's meant to relax your mind, like the sound therapy and brain bars.
I was doing what we call an access brain bars therapy. So basically what we're doing is we're balancing the left and the right brain. It's almost like a defrag. So if you're having hassles with your computer, your IT guy comes in, dumps all the viruses, all the spam, everything that's clogging up, It's the same thing. We're clearing all that chaos using different points on the head, the same points you would use if you were going for an EEG brain scan. By releasing and holding those points, we're able to dump all that stress and chaos that, and now as you can feel, you feel amazing and clear, awake, but peaceful and calm, but very alert and motivated.
Okay, now I'm a bit worried, but excited. Because when you say you are dumping things, is like some of the memories, do they automatically get removed? What happens?
Well, basically what happens is your subconscious mind is filled with so much information. A lot of it doesn't even belong to you. We don't get rid of memories or experiences, but if there was a lot of trauma around that, we're able to help you dump and defrag that. But then also, obviously, if there is a lot of stress that accumulates in your mind, just by that relaxing therapy, we do dump what you no longer need. So it just helps keep your brain nice and clear, your mind clear and calm, and able to process and move forward in life without as much strain and stress and heaviness.
And the relevance of sound when it comes to this type of treatment, the brain bar, what is it?
Every sound has its own frequency, as does every emotion, and every vibration in your body has its own frequency. And if there are deficiencies, or if you are over excited in certain areas, bringing in sound and the right tone for that particular problem brings you back into balance again.
Once the entire body felt aligned, clear and cleansed, it was time to balance the energy through a Reiki healing.
It's Reiki. If you want to translate it into much more understandable and easy language, it's an energy treatment. It's to replenish and balance the energy of the body, the mind, and the soul.
After a life-changing spa session, Negwelo breathe in, breathe out abaningi, enjoying a healthy lunch, sipping on something nice, and overlooking the beautiful Crocodile River was a perfect way to end the day. Please listen to your body and take some time out to enjoy a full day spa.
And that's exactly what I meant by Sabawell, the definition of soft life. Now let's swiftly move from relaxation to a bit of sweat. Now there are many ways of keeping fit and exploring the outdoors. A reason why the Gauteng Department of Economic Development embarked on a cycling experience to encourage communities to be fit and active. Now this past week we spent the day with the Gauteng MEC for Economic Development, Tesneen Mutara, who joined cyclists in Maldersdrift, west of Johannesburg. Let's have a look.
This is part of our Gauteng Economic Development, in particular Gauteng Tourism Agency's campaign over a lengthy period of time to showcase our tourism offerings. So one of them, especially pre-COVID, so during COVID, activities such as this, people couldn't do them. This is a a cycle loop here in the Cradle of Humankind. It's about 37.4 kilometers long. It has about 4,000 cyclists that cycle here every week. We want to be able to just expand it, show people that it's still on. There's a lot of other activities that you can experience when cycling. And then we've got community initiatives that support the cycling because over a period of time there's been a lot of crime. Cyclists don't feel safe, particularly women. Kids also cycle, so together with the Maldersdrift Neighborhood Watch, the biker patrollers, in a collaborative effort, working together to make sure that the experience is still there, the experience still grows, the experience is still supported, and that together the community, the government, provincial government in particular, is supporting this to expand it. Western region in our province is what we refer to as a depressed economy. There's very little activity here, and activities and facilities such as these are one that create sustainable jobs, economic activity. Just the cycle loop contributes to about 3,200 jobs in the area. So it's upon us to be able to ensure that we support it fully. We contribute where we can, we get the community involved, we expand it and show that we still maintain the cycle lanes. We still have international and national cyclists that come and use this loop to train for cycle competitions. The big cycle is every Saturday. They start from as early as 5, but you can join at any time. I'll definitely be here any Saturday that I have an opportunity to join. It's a beautiful environment. You get to see game. I saw some monkeys. It's clean. It's serene. It's just the stress from the city. Come here, enjoy.
Well, his name is Israel, and he loves the outdoors. When I do the indoor training, he sits next to me on his little bicycle. Aww. And when I ride weekends, he wants to be with me. He cries to ride with me. And I gave his mommy a break today, and I said, let him come with me.
You know, being out on the road with the wind fresh on your face and with the whole community, of cyclists, it's such a beautiful atmosphere. It's good to be here, I must say. Yeah.
I love your playlist. Please tell us a bit about it.
Today I was listening to some Afro beats. I think they really keep the legs energized so that I can increase those revolutions per minute. Especially on those uphills, I tend to crank up the volume just to give me that power. And of course, our local artists, I can't forget them. Yeah, AKA. And
how long have you been doing this for? Because it seems like you know what, you are all geared up. You know what, all geared up. You even know which music to play and all of that. You are prepared. How long?
Interestingly enough, I've not been doing this for long. I've been doing this now for almost 7 months now.
Hi, I'm Bev. I'm from Cycle Lab Active. This is a group of our Cycle Lab Active women. We ride together. We've been riding mountain bikes for some time now. We love riding the Cradle mountain bike trail. It's just a beautiful place to sort of be out and at one with nature. And yeah, we get to have a game ride, not a game drive. So we see lots of stuff out on the trails, and it's just beautiful all year round.
But it is true to say when time flies, indeed you are having fun. Now do join us next week, that same time, same place, on SABC News Channel 404 at 8 p.m. Remember to also interact with us on Twitter using our handle at Trendz on SABC. Until next time, from me, Tisetso Masike, as I always say, your new Friday plans is Trendz Live. Good night and God bless. Let's sala sentle.